This is Brian Borland, and I am excited for you to hear his story because it's beautiful and a little bit humorous as well. I'll tell you the humorous part here in just a moment. But Brian, let's back up a step. Before you came to Core Church, before you were baptized recently, tell us where you were at in your life and what literally drove you to come to Core.
Well, I had struggles in life, from relationship to addiction to just lack of purpose and lack of meaning. I had been trying for years to fill that void, whether from materialism, from alcohol, just run the gamut of things. Mm-hmm. And I knew I needed change. And, you know, people had told me, or I'd heard previous years, God, Jesus can fill that for you. You know, I've read this and heard this over the years, and I didn't think that was applicable to me. I didn't think that was what was meant for me. So finally, when I kind of had a breaking point and things just started crumbling around me, we got to crisis mode. I knew I had to make a change. Ashley works with Brad, who does some AV. They've been coming to church here for a few months, and he would just brag on the church. Mm-hmm. He would say how great the band is, how great the sermons are. Pastor Brad is whoop whoop, you know. So when we reached this point, we knew that I was ready. Wow. She was ready, and we decided to give church another try. And we came here, and immediately we knew we'd kind of found home. It's just like you walk in. We've tried churches before. Never have we felt what we felt here. Wow.
You know what I love about your story is people planted seeds all along the way in the journey. You weren't ready. And for some of us, you just think, man, I'm trying to share Christ with my coworker or my neighbor or whatever, and I'm not getting anywhere. No. You're planting seeds. We are all planting seeds of the gospel, and some of us are planting the seed, and some of us then are able to be there when the harvest is reaped, like it was for Brad. So you show up on a Sunday. You were actually here a Sunday. I wasn't here. Came back. And then we practice open baptism, where at the end of the service, we say, hey, you want to get baptized? Let us know. Mm-hmm. What compelled you that day? You were all the way in the back. And, right. And you raised your hand. What compelled you to raise your hand that day?
Well, I'll have to back up a little bit, because it was our fifth week here. The week before, I felt compelled to be baptized that week. But I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe my mom, maybe my kids would like to be a part of this. And so I put it off. And then the next week was your first week back. I'd kind of had a little falling out with my mom. I was feeling down. My kids, you know, they're 20s, teenagers. They do their own thing, kind of. And so I was like, well, I'm going to push it off another week, you know?
Okay.
And then when it came time, you called out, and it had to happen. Like, it had to happen that day. I was tired of living the way I was living.
Wow.
And I knew I needed to make a commitment. And so I raised my hand, and the rest is kind of history. Yeah.
What I know in that moment, what happens in that moment, it's so hard to articulate, but what that is, it's the grace of God. It's the love of God that showers over you in that moment and compels you in such a way that it's what we call irresistible grace. Like, I cannot not do this.
Right.
It was so funny as you raised your hand. So then I was like, come on. And this is the funny part, because you're like, now? Like,
right.
You didn't
you
know.
mean in front of all these people?
You had no idea that you were going to get baptized that moment in front of all these people.
Maybe this could clear out a little bit. It's kind of, you know.
And what was funny is you came down, and I've never come off the stage before, but I just felt compelled by God to go down and give you the biggest hug. And then after hearing your story, I knew that God wanted me wanted you to know the love of God, how much he was embracing you in that moment for the decision you were making?
That moment was huge. I have to say, the moment that I raised my hand and walked down, honestly, I had tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
You came off the stage. I didn't know what to expect. The baptism actually was surreal. I couldn't process it at the moment, but that moment was the very real moment at that moment. And man, it's changed me forever. So.
And what I love is now you didn't hesitate at all. You literally jumped in the water, and then you jumped in the water of Core Church. Like, you are immersed. You're coming to the men's prayer stuff. You're involved in a small group now. You guys are getting involved in the community. Man, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing today.
No, thank you. This has been a great experience. So.